Hey guys, this week we're going to be looking at lifting more weight with the snatch, with the clean and jerk, with your Olympic lifts. We're going to dive into PRs. We're going to look at different angles of them, and we're going to help you figure out what you need to do next to add more weight to that bar. Let's get into it. All right, guys, a little coach's corner for you. So we're talking about making gains. I mean, that's what brings you into the gym, right? That brings you to the Olympic lifts. We want to get stronger at them. We want to be our strongest self. So when we look at PRs, let's look at the history of PRs for us. When we first get into the sport, when we first get into weightlifting, PRs come all the time. We're learning and we're starting to figure out technique and we're gaining strength, and here's a PR and here's a PR and here's a PR until they don't. They don't come anymore. And then they come less frequently, and for some athletes, it's been a very long time without a PR. And what we call that is a plateau. The athlete is plateaued. They're stuck. So what causes a plateau? Now, there's a few things that I want to really highlight. One is we can talk about the foundation. The foundation the athlete had built that they started building their gains on. If the foundation is off, there's going to be a plateau. The athlete lacks knowledge around programming and programming for the nervous system. The Olympic lifts are steeped in the nervous system. That can cause plateaus. And then the last one is reoccurring injuries, which relates to the foundation that we talked about. But a reoccurring injury, when I say the word injury, what I want you to think is anything that makes you modify your training. So if you walk in and you're saying to yourself, hey, today's a snatch day, and you start to move and it's like, oh, that shoulder, that's doing that thing again, maybe I'll just do pulls. Guys, that's an injury, okay? If you look like, oh, I'm just going to do hangs and powers because I can feel that hip again when I go down into the squat. Guys, that's an injury, okay? And these things cause us to plateau, and that relates back to the foundation that I mentioned. So how do you fix the foundation? Now, when we get into the foundational work, you have to assess, how is the athlete moving? Are they moving through any compensation patterns? And what I want you to think of a compensation pattern as is if you, for whatever reason, get injured or tweaked or whatnot, your body is miraculous. It's going to figure out a way to be able to move around what is bothering it so you can still perform the task at hand, right? All without you thinking about it. And that's a compensation pattern. So we're compensating our movement for some reason. That's how I want to define it for this video, okay? So if we're in a compensation pattern because we've gotten tweaked or whatnot, and we keep going and now we're healthy again, however, we continue to move with that compensation pattern, now we're setting ourselves up for a plateau, okay? So we need to assess, are we in compensation patterns? How is our movement pattern overall? What's going on, okay? From there, we need to train the pattern that we want, right? So we got to take you out of the compensation pattern, put you into the patterns that are needed to build that foundation and to give you something to build your gains upon, okay? From there, we need to strengthen that pattern. So now we need to add strength to it, because typically when we make that change, it doesn't take much for you to slip back over to the compensation pattern. It's something that you built up in there. So we need to strengthen the healthy pattern for you to be able to utilize that. And now we have to integrate that back into the lifts. It sounds like a lot. However, we've done a lot of great work around this. And I'm really happy to report, I'm really excited to report that we've just created a new offering, and it's called Vital Strength. It's been something that our athletes here at Project Lift have been going through since about March, and the results have been mind-blowing. We've had athletes away from the barbell for periods of 2 months to walk in and PR within a couple weeks. How's that happen? I'll tell you, they had a compensation pattern. Vital Strength helped them correct it, strengthen it, and when they came to the barbell, their muscles were able to work with themselves. They were in sync. It felt easy. So guys, what we're doing is really exciting is we have a free week available for Vital Strength for you to try out coming up. And I'm going to put a link here for you guys to register for that. It's going to be in October. And I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you in, and I want you to get the benefit in that week, feel that week, and start to see what is available to you and take all this hard work that you're putting into the gym and see the results again. So really excited for you guys to have with us. I hope this conversation around PRs and looking at it in a different light has given you some things to think about and planning for your training. And I'll talk to you next week.